it's crazy out here, man. Look, why can't a nigga do his thing? Because look, even watch. Literally, me saying this, they're gonna be like, I literally promise you. That's exactly what this is, a social experiment right here, straight to the cup. Like
another one.
Yeah, this is a social experiment. I promise you. Some shorty is gonna walk up to me and question me about what I said. Are you gonna be like, I knew you were. I already had the notion that you were, but I know for sure now that you definitely play girls.
The guy is in his bath and his babe is essentially just like taking care of him while he's in the bath, right? And the caption is like, I wouldn't have been doing this if not for, and then it transitions to the rest of the day. He was essentially like building the whole house. He was like doing the tiling. He was putting up mirrors. Yep. Like he was doing all the labor work. And then it now transition back to this. And it's like, look, I feel like I can do this for him because of what he's done.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas like a lot of us are just looking at like, this is how girls should be treating me now. What have you done to deserve to be treated like this? I don't blame you. If this other guy has more of what you want, I don't blame you. This is why, like, for me, I don't get pissed off at the game, bro. I just say, bro, it's not my turn. I just leave it. If I get parred, I get parred.
Yeah.
You are now listening to the BlackerTheBerry, the Sweeter the Juice.
Let's record it,
mate. Your name now. You just say your name. Why you have to try? And then you say, I'm sure.
This thing, you're like, you want the best of three worlds. Like,
you're scared. Now I understand why the girls are running away. Because all this time I've been thinking girls are crazy. Now it makes sense. Keyshawn.
Sherelle World in the cut, you feel me? BlackerTheBerry 2023. Unruly the brand.
Yeah.
Down with Docs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really making a comeback.
everything.
I'm watching you to come back.
Everything, full throttle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we feel you, bro.
The second half of the year, you know what I'm saying? Full throttle. Wow. Are you ready for winter, man? You ready for fall? Yo, I forgot that it snows in this city, bro.
Bro, you know, the funny thing is, the way the summers are so hot and then all of a sudden it just gets so cold.
Literally, bro.
In the summer you just completely forget.
Dead ass.
You forget how how cold the cold can get.
Dead ass. Honestly, I didn't think the winter was that bad last year though. But then again, I feel like you would disagree, but I didn't think it was that bad. But then again, I don't really leave my crib during winter, so I guess I didn't feel it as much. So,
because I'm going to work like every day.
Exactly. So I feel like
you was cold.
Yeah, you was feeling it a little bit more.
Okay. These people were acting as if it was normal, distant, rubbish people. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, DX.
Straight up in the cut, you know what it is.
Yes.
You know what it is, man.
We're back. We are back. I'm thinking about doing the BlackerTheBerry at the end. It sounded nice the last time we did it.
All right, let's do it then.
Yeah, it sounded very nice the last time I did it.
Let's do it.
But, yeah. We went to have a guest today, but, you know, plans change.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Plans change. What questions do you have for her?
Now, listen. What questions did I have for her?
Yeah.
Ooh, I got some interesting shit. And obviously, I wanted to get a girl's perspective, but we can still talk about it. So, the first one is actually your guy kind of brought it up, but we didn't expand on it.
Kieran.
Yeah, like the paradox of choice as a male dealing with women in today's society, as from a male's perspective. That conversation, the paradox of choice, and then obviously I wanted to hear what a lady would have to say about that. But that was the first one, yeah.
And we can bring it back now when she comes back.
Yeah. I mean, we can.
We can still talk about it. Yeah.
We can bring it back up. Yeah. That was the first one. I had a few other ones too, but that was the main. That was the first one. Yeah, it's just I saw it. I just wanted to talk about it. It's not that I necessarily had like a particular point. It was just more so like it's kind of crazy, just in that sense where kind of like what he was saying. like from a guy's perspective, obviously it's like, obviously if you're pursuing an attractive woman, right, there's a high chance there's a lot of other guys.
Oh yeah.
Actually, what's crazy? I just remember I was at the club and I realized I was like, it was so funny because like I realized how so many guys are like so alike. So like in that moment when I was at the club, I think there was some like pretty girl that walked by, and the way every single guy that was in the vicinity looked at her the exact same way, including me, because obviously she caught my attention too. But the fact that every other guy caught, like they were all doing this, I was like, it's crazy that in that sense, like tying to what I'm saying, is just like it's the same way. Like we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
We all want her. We're all attracted to her. We all want to pursue her. You feel me? So it's just crazy. From a guy's perspective, kind of like essentially having like comping with other niggas, because all these niggas kind of like, and then also in the other sense where it's like it can suck being a guy in today's society, to where, and obviously it also depends on what kind of woman you're dealing with or whatever, but to where, because social media is so rampant, like there's a lot of women and a lot of girls that have this mentality of just like kind of what he said, the next big fish. He has more money. He's taller. He's better looking. He has a nicer body. Like it's just, it can. I feel like I said this from a guy's perspective, it can suck for us knowing that a lot of girls actually do think like this. Like, oh, it's whatever. Like, fuck him. Like, I'm just moving on to the next nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like what I wanted to talk about. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy for me. Like I actually deeped it. I was like, it's crazy out here because it's like obviously it's the truth. Like obviously there's always gonna be there's always like a nigga that's taller than you, or a nigga that has more money, or a nigga that has nicer hair. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like, or nicer teeth. I don't know. You feel me? But like, it sucks that so essentially what I'm trying to say, it sucks that there's a lot of girls that think like that. It's just like, it's kind of tough. Like, I feel like it can be tough being a guy, knowing that when you're dealing with these girls, a lot of them are thinking, oh, like, if this shit ends today, fuck it. Like, I can literally go, next nigga is already in my phone. He will come pick me up. Because obviously you can think about it from a guy's perspective. If you were the other guy, you will come pick her up too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's tough, man. It actually, like, it is a paradox. Like, bro, it's like rocking a hard place, Rocking a hard place. So, what do you think?
The funny thing is, it's only hard when you're not the popping guy.
I guess.
That's the thing. It's only hard when you're not the popping guy, right?
Yeah.
So,
are you the popping guy?
Me? Yeah. It depends who I'm chasing.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, and again, back to also with people not really understanding your worth. When you're saying that, understanding your worth, as in like evaluate yourself. Are you worth this caliber of person? Yeah. Even when we had Mr. Dre and Dizzy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw when you were talking about the kind of girl you want to be with.
You know what I'm saying? Are you worth that kind of girl?
Yeah.
And it's not a thing where like you're demoting yourself or you're devaluing yourself. Yeah. It's just, bro, don't apply for a CEO job when you haven't even done any entry level jobs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's know your own market, know your own spec.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it depends who I'm chasing, man. Like, I've even thought about it recently as well. Like, I know I've been in situations where there are girls that like me, and it's almost straightforward to play. And then, actually, no, the reason I was thinking about this was that I was talking to someone, and I was thinking, like, I can't remember what exactly brought up the thought. It was more of just like, so I was thinking of certain things that I want as a person. It was just a general thought. Certain things that I want from a woman as a person, and then what I'm doing for her, right? Obviously, we're asking questions, and I'm getting to know her. And obviously, there's a little bit of interest there. But the way I see a lot of things is that I can't expect anything from her because she was never looking my way in the first place. The only reason she's looking my way now is because I approached her. So that means I already have built my level of interest and like for this person to a certain level. So when I'm now going to her, I can't really expect much because she's only starting at zero now. She's having to then look at me, analyze me, and see, okay, cool, what do I like about this person? Whereas I've already built some sort of like for you already. So like there's certain things that I'm willing to do that you're probably not willing to do.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about even like other situations where I've gone into the same situation and it's so reciprocal, but then again, if you look at like the basis of it, she's already liked me to the same level. She just didn't mention it. It just took for me to approach her. Then I'm already because we're both at the same like level. I'm getting the same energy I'm giving her.
Yeah.
So I was just like dissecting that. And I was just thinking, like, I was just thinking about it because even part of like having game and all of that, it's also like she also has her own level to which she likes you too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's some girls that it goes back to even with approaching a girl. If let's say the first time it didn't work, doesn't mean she doesn't like you at all. It could, like if she tells you fuck off.
Yeah.
But it could just mean that, like, let's say you approach her in the club. It might be a bad timing. It might be you might be the 10th guy to approach her. Maybe the other 9 were just rude, and then you're just the 10th one.
Yeah.
So you could still approach her in a different scenario, and then she might like you then. But again, it's like you have to put yourself in their shoes and think about it. Like you actually you have to be considerate. So yeah, I was thinking about it, and even with this as well as the paradox of choice. I mean, when you're the popular guy, almost anything goes, right? And also
Meaning
anything goes, as in like you can. Their likability for you has already increased more than most, and also this whole dilemma between having like the fact that this world has a lot more beautiful girls than there are desired men. Right, there's a smaller percentage of desired men than beautiful girls.
100%.
Right,
100%.
So, as a guy, it is naturally gonna be tough, anyways. You're fighting for a very small market share. I've used that the right terminology, but like you're fighting to be part of a very small market share, whereas the girls are not fighting for that much because one guy is most likely gonna like 5 girls at once, but 5 girls would like one guy. The maths ain't mathing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's naturally gonna be tough for us. It's naturally gonna be tough for us.
And it's not even like and I understand it in the sense where it's just like, you know, it goes back to the whole like we're playing different games kind of thing. Essentially, is what you're saying, right? So, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, have you like have you talked to a girl that like has a lot? Like, have you dealt with a girl before that has like a lot of options? Like, you know, like have you like what was that like?
The American, but I was lucky there because of the distance. So now her wanting to talk to me means she's having to go out of her way to talk to me. So there's a lot of interest that you have to put in yourself to then make this call. So there was a lot of attachment being built, right? But yeah, bro, bro, I like good things, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
I've dealt with a few girls that have a lot of attention.
Yeah,
I've dealt with some where I didn't really know how much attention they get, and I didn't know how much they entertained those like the attention.
Those are two different things, also.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my other situation, my only situation, was someone that easily I'll be stupid not to think she garners a lot more than the average girl, right? But the way she carried herself, you could be easily deceived that she's not entertaining other guys. But then you just have to pay attention that she could. Yeah. And you can't leave that out of your mind. Yeah. That's one situation where like again it's just like she had a lot of options. But then the way I'm very laid back when it comes to, I'm not really laid back, I'm just a lot more reserved. Like the same thing I was telling Hassan, like they have to like me for me. I'm not gonna like try and be what you want because I just can't. I don't have the energy to.
Yeah, I feel you.
So most times, if I am trying to talk to, get involved with a girl that has a lot of options, I'll most likely be higher up her list if we're talking, because of how reserved I am. She'd have had to put a lot more effort in for us to be talking.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So, yeah, I have dealt with this, and then I've dealt with somewhere, bro. I'm bottom of the list. I just take it on the chin, bro.
Yeah, for sure. It's,
take on the chin,
you
man.
win some, you lose some, man. Look, it is what it is,
simple.
man. So they say focus on yourself,
bro. Honestly,
but yeah, I done dealt with a few popping shorties. Yeah, I like good things too, man. For sure. Definitely more recently, I would say too. Within the last like few years, relax. I'm not like you. You feel
like
me? Yeah, I'm not like you. I'm not the pumping guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working my way up. But yeah, bro, look at your shirt, man. Look at you. You're wearing a floral. Like, what's going on over there? You feel me?
I was at work.
You're showing chest. You're showing all the chains and shit.
I was at work.
There you go. You feel me? Like, look, I'm not the popping guy. I've dealt with some popping shorties. You know, I'm trying to think. I think like kind of like what you said too. It's like how
this one that has girls breaking necks.
Who?
When we were just you.
No, stop it right now.
Where were we?
What are you talking about?
I can't remember where we were, but we were sitting down. There was a girl walking by, stretching neck.
That couldn't have been me, man. Look,
I'm pretty sure it was Infinity.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was Infinity.
I don't remember that.
When you had your dress high up.
Stop.
Rich guy.
But yeah, like I'm trying to think. Yeah, like you kind of like what you're saying is like also how do they handle it, the attention? Like because one can be like make it more evident. Like, look, I'll fuck with you, my nigga, but I have options. And then the other ones can be like a lot more reserved, or in the sense where it's like they have options, but they're not like present. Does that make sense? As in the sense where it's like she knows she has options if she wanted to. Oh, yeah, but she's not just out here entertaining and seeing a bunch of guys. Yeah. But she's very attractive. So in that sense, she has options. But she's choosing to deal with you. Yeah. So I've had both. One where it's like I'm dealing with her and I know there's other guys around, like actually present, like in the picture, in her phone, you know, also trying to take her out, whatever. And then I've also had it the other way where it's like I know she's incredibly attractive. She gets a lot of attention, right? But she's choosing to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's also like a part to play in it too.
Have you been in a situation where where you're doing Trey songs or Usher, it's to steal your babe? No, not steal your babe, but as in like you're number one on the list. But there's still other guys, it's just you're number one. Yeah. And you know, if I call she's leaving wherever she's with. Yeah. You feel that situation?
If I call, meaning wait, so I'm at the top of her list. Yeah, she's not on top of my list. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There was one day. What was I even there? I think I was home. This is the worst part about this game, bro. I think that was the day I realized this game is rough. Yeah. But I'm happy that I don't get to receive the bad parts as much anymore. So I was at home chilling. Right? I was texting the girl like throughout most of the day, just general conversation. And then it was like I think it was like 12 or something like that. I get a text saying, "Yo, can you come pick me up?" I'm like, "No, I'm at home."
12 like at night?
Yeah.
At night?
At night, yeah.
Okay.
I said, "No, I'm at home." She's like, "Oh, but like, I want to see you." I said, "Aren't you at a party?" Right. So anyways, she begged, or we conversated, and I was like, "Okay, cool, I can't pick you up." I drove there. I was outside. Yeah. And she was coming down. There was a guy that was like with her, and it looked like they were not arguing, but it was just like you can clearly see Uncle is trying to keep her there. Bro, it broke my heart. I was because I was seeing it from the other side, bro. God. But I was happy because I was on this side, bro. I drove. I didn't want to park too near because I didn't want the guys to see my face before it comes. because from she walks in my car. The guy's still trying to talk. Me, I'm hiding my face. She gets in the car, closes the door.
Crazy.
Drive off. Wow. I can see my rearview mirror. The guy's
standing there. Oh,
bro. I've I remember being in that position before.
Yeah.
Guy, I remember being in that position before.
Yeah.
I was just driving and I was like, it was rough.
We all been there, man.
It was rough, bro.
It's crazy though. Looking back on it now, I mean, you can probably relate to it. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
This is good.
You can probably relate to it, but like looking back on, in terms of this specific conversation, like looking back on like where you were and like how you are now, just in terms of like, obviously you're still building yourself and stuff. But like, you've obviously come a certain way. Like, look at you now. Look at everything you are, everything you've established to now be on the other side as much, essentially. You feel me? Like, you feel me? Like, you're leveling up. You feel me?
Thank God.
You know, so I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for myself, but it seems like, as the top of the list,
this camera at you,
as someone that's at the top of other girls' lists.
No, it's only been like, it's happened twice. Funny enough, it was the same guy. Oh my God, the
same guy with different girls.
The second time, I felt bad.
Wow.
I felt very, very bad to see the same face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The game was rough.
Different girls with the same guy is crazy. He needs to go do some self work, man.
Well, the thing is, like, for me, when I'm looking at the guy, like, objectively, I'm like, in my mind, I would have assumed like his levels. Then that first scenario happened. Second scenario happened where it was one of my girlfriends that was talking about this guy, but I didn't correlate the two. Right. And then this third scenario happened where it was now meeting this guy again. Now I'm thinking, like, bro, you can't judge a book off its cover, man. Yeah. As in even good or bad. Yeah. Because see me thinking like this guy is probably like, levels. And he's getting parted left and right. Yeah. Yeah. Brother. Yeah. Now I think the second time was where it was a lot more close contact. That was, I think that was where we started having a certain disdain for me.
So essentially, you're him.
Not really.
You're moving crazy. Not really. Crazy out here.
As I said, it only happened twice. It's only happened twice. Wow. It doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't really happen that much. That's why I was saying, like, in the moment it happened, I was thinking, like, I've been there before, and it wasn't too long ago. I was there. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, bro, there'll be days where, like, you're texting your babe and she's not replying, and then your guy next to you sends her one text. She's sending paragraphs.
He opens it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Bro, your chest, bro, it just sinks, my nigga. Like, it's not a good feeling, bro. Women, man, stress, bro. Trust me, stress. It's crazy.
See, I suffered, bro.
Yeah, it's tough out here, man. It really is.
Right, it's rough.
Do you feel like it takes more for a woman, like in the game of sex, right? Like to like get in straight to the cup. Do you think it takes more for a woman, as in what I mean by for you to get there? It takes more from you, that she needs to see more from you essentially to let you in, as opposed to vice versa, which is like, and not you specifically. I mean like
general,
like men, women, right? Because obviously we talk about how like, to get in, you have to do this, and it kind of ties into what you're saying about being. If you're at the top of her list, there's obviously probably a plethora of reasons as to why you're at the top. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she does have options. You know what I'm saying? So do you think in like the game of sex, it's like from a woman's perspective, there's a lot for you to get there or get in? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm asking?
I think so.
And what I mean by like there's more, I mean like traits, like how you talk,
like, you
like all the little things essentially.
More, essentially,
like all the little things.
Yeah.
You think it's more for a girl to see to find me, okay, this is the nigga that I'm gonna fuck with, or this nigga I'm fucking with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll probably say it depends on her levels.
Okay.
Alright, so if it's a girl that is higher up in the pond, you have a lot more to prove. You either have to have a lot more in terms of like I hate saying this, but in terms of like your status, you probably have to have a lot more expendable cash.
Yeah.
Because there are some girls that are probably like higher up in levels, like in terms of like there are more guys that are looking at this babe.
Yeah.
And the guy that's chatting to her is someone that's had to spend quite a bit for her to then notice him. Because I'm not saying that you always have to spend money on babes, but
I know what you're saying.
Sometimes if you get a girl something nice, she would more likely look up and be like, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Compared to if you're just a regular guy trying to chat her up. And girls can always try and deny this, but it's the case. Like with most times when they'll say, no one has to spend money on me, blah, blah. Most times, the reason why you're messing with this other guy that's not spending money on you is because a lot of people know him. Or he does certain things that puts him in a certain, limelight. He doesn't have to spend money on you, but you're there for a reason. You're either there because he's, extremely attractive, or he's extremely attractive to other people. But there's still a lot more traits, as you say, that he has than a different guy. Like a different guy could be above average looking, but because he's not as much as these other guys, you're sticking with those guys. And I don't blame you. If this other guy has more of what you want, I don't blame you. This is why, for me, I don't get pissed off at the game, bro. I just say, bro, it's not my turn. I just leave it. If I get parred, I get parred. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, because who was I talking about this? Funny enough, I was having a conversation with somebody very recently, where it was like, I was like, oh, it's crazy how like the girl you're dealing with, or like, oh yeah, I remember now. I was thrifting with one of my guys, and there was a guy that I was talking to.
Yeah.
Like at the store or whatever, and the shorty I'd been dealing with had told me about him, and she was like, oh, like she curved him, like whatever, like. And objectively, good looking guy. Yeah. He like 6'1", he's tall. He's a cool guy too, like objectively. And when I hear that from her, I don't attach it to him at all, because girls, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so after I had a conversation with him, I was thinking that in my head, like, oh, she had mentioned this nigga. And then once me and my guy had walked away, he was like, oh, it's funny how a girl that you're dealing with will tell you about all these other guys.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, like he's like this, I couldn't, whatever. But I'm like, and then my guy was like, oh, it's fine because you're probably one of those guys to a different girl. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you say, you can't be mad at the game. This is what it is, bro. You know me, like the shorty you're fucking with that's curving all these other niggas, there's probably another shorty you try to get with that curved you, and she's telling her, the nigga she's fucking with, that, oh, I curved his ass. You know,
bro,
so objectively,
it's the nature of the game, man. Especially when you're moving to, when you're trying to find one, you have to move. Yeah. So you're gonna end up moving to certain babes. If unfortunately you move to one that has a big mouth, bro, just take on the chin. You have to take on the chin, 100%, man.
100%.
So,
but yeah, I've definitely like, because I was just curious, because I was asking, like, I've obviously like dealt with a shorty that's like objectively attractive, like she gets a lot of attention from guys or whatever, and like this one, like more so I knew like she had like options, but like it was me type shit. Like I was at the top of the
Amen.
So I was like, I'm so picky, like I'm so particular. I want to understand things, like, and so I'm like asking myself, before maybe even posing the question to her, I'm asking myself, like, not for any reason, like not like questioning or doubting my skills or abilities to get women, but I'm just asking myself, okay, like, why am I here? Like, what brought me to this point? You feel me? That's the reason I asked the question, because I'm like, I know some of these other guys, or I've seen some of these other guys around, they're also attractive guys. Like, they are competenters. Okay, they're also good looking guys. They also get attention from other women as well, but I'm the nigga that's here. So I'm thinking to myself, what were the reasons that helped me climb the ladder, essentially? That she had all these options, but she picked me. You feel me?
Yeah, sometimes it's also compatibility, man.
100%.
Because
that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, it's a major part, because like that compatibility is what probably you clicked on something and then she was like, oh yeah, I prefer this.
Yeah.
Whereas this other guy, let's say like
he's good looking.
Exactly. Let's say like you're talkative, and then she likes to listen. The next guy, he's good looking, he does this, he's caring, but he's very quiet.
Yeah.
Automatically, you're gonna be a level above him just because she wants to be able to listen to you, and she likes being around you.
Yeah.
Right? She might hang out with the other, but he's not as as fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and then sometimes also some girls are duplicitous, bro. Like the other that babe that did Doctor Who.
Okay, so
I would believe her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, some people are just duplicitous, and that meaning like they would, just because something didn't work here, all of a sudden it'll just switch and they'll just start acting off. It's like, bro, all you have to say is you just lost interest.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a rough game. That's what, bro. Bro, the game is the game. I was like, even that scenario, I'm not that vexated because, bro, that's how shit goes. I don't know exactly what, for example, what might make one girl like me or one girl not like me. I don't know exactly what it is, but all I know is that there's so many people in this world, and there's so many other people that I'm compatible with. 100%. All I have to do is care about those that I'm compatible with, right? So. Yeah, man. I think a lot of guys worry too much about those girls that
do
not.
Them?
Yeah. Yes, bro.
We always want what we can't have, I guess.
Bro, a lot of guys worry about girls that don't want
literally,
them, bro. And
it
doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But then again, you can't relate to that because you're you're the top guy. You're the top guy, so you ain't gotta worry about nothing like that. You feel me?
No, man. Right, no. It's not the cat. It's not the cat. Alright, guys, quick interruption. Make sure you go check out the audio as well. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to the audio. Make sure you follow us there and also rate. So 5 stars, please, 5 stars. That will help us actually get to be seen more. And also share it with your friends, family, whoever as well. But yeah, back to the show, guys.
No, but like, actually, no. Let's actually talk. I'm gonna look in the camera when I say this. Like, straight to the cup. What's wrong with a nigga having options? And this is for you shorties, because
so this is going.
No, stop. No, this is not a. This is not. No. It's just like it's something that obviously like I've seen around. You feel me? Like from my guys like you, who are like the top of the list. Like, for example, what we just talked about, right? A girl will hear you say. You know what I'm saying? You saw the same guy, but 2 different girls.
Yeah.
They're immediately thinking you're fucked. You're either like, obviously not every girl thinks this, but you guys know where I'm going with this context-wise.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking you're a fuck nigga.
Yeah.
They're thinking you're a bad person. They're thinking you manipulate women. They're thinking all this negative shit. Right. So my question to you is, why is it an issue when a nigga is talking to multiple? Why is it such a big deal? Because you hear it all the time. It's like, oh, the first thing they'll see if they think you're attractive, immediately, oh, you're a fuck nigga, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they actually hear that you're talking to multiple women, or they just automatically assume you are, it's like, oh, that means you're a bad person. But in reverse, like if it was the other way around, it's just like if a girl is most attractive women at least have multiple guys in their phone, and they're actually entertaining them, as in they may be seeing multiple, they may be going on dates with multiple of them, talking to them, like they have them in their phone, whatever. When they do it, it's not a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me give you a scenario. If a girl, say a girl had like multiple options. Say you're one of the guys she was talking to, right? And she's like, obviously she hasn't told you she has options, but she's good looking. She probably she's entertaining other guys, right? Say she went on a dinner date and you saw her with the guy.
Hi.
Sure, your chest might drop a little bit. But it's like, all right, that's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
For you, you're not gonna think, oh, she's this, she's that. You're gonna think, okay, cool, right? This is where it was for you and her. It's not like you guys were. It's not like you guys communicated in school. You were just seeing her. Yeah. Right. We kind of talked about it. Now, reverse the roles.
Oh boy.
If you were talking to her ass,
you
same exact
from her friends.
She saw you with another shorty. You're finished.
Yeah.
So nigga, what like to the short? What's the big deal? Like straight to the cup.
I think it's
why is it such a problem?
I think it's deeper than just like the surface level. I think part of it is also due to the negativity attached to the double standard. So that meaning, because society allows guys to be so free, it's now like, okay, cool, this is the control I have by telling him off for being so free with his choices. Whereas now, because I've not been so free with society, now that I have choices, I should be able to talk about it. So part of it is that. The other part is again, we can't really talk really. Like that's part of it as well. And also we like because we're painted as arrogant creatures, because we're painted as like the gender that is like so boastful is now like you don't need to boast. So you just saying, oh, I have options, you'll be labeled arrogant. Right, a girl saying she has options is woman power, strength. You know, you're confident with, you go B. You know what I'm saying?
You go B.
You know what I'm saying? So it's partly it's all part of the whole reason why.
Issue,
it's a bigger issue than just like the individual scenarios, right? Like even like, for example, the whole like trying to empower women, or like not even empower women, but like, be free with your sexual liberation, right? There's the onus on women to be free with the sexual liberation because they've been pushed down so much. But a guy shouldn't be sexually liberated because he's already had too much, right? I don't want to hear from you when you're talking about how many women you slept with, right? Or I don't want to hear from you when you're talking about what you want in the bed. Whereas like for a woman, because you've been quietened so long, speak up, right? But then because it's now getting to a point where like some of us might feel like some people are taking too much advantage of that fact and now shouting about their liberation. Some people are not, you give them a mouth, they're taking like a whole bloody universe. So it's just a bunch of different reasons put together as to why that's the case. But for me, as soon as you start making noise, you're off my list. I don't like headache. I don't like what's the word? I don't like hypocrites, right? I do my best not to be a hypocrite either. I don't voice out my options. For the most part, most of the time it's one by one. But even if I have more than one, I don't voice it out. Just because I don't want, as a human being, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Right? At the end of the day, you knowing someone else has options makes you act a certain way anyways, regardless of gender.
For sure.
So for me, I won't want to make you feel that way. So I would also expect that same respect from you, not to be telling me you have options. I can assume it. Don't get me wrong. I'm always assuming any girl that I'm trying to talk to that is, beautiful and objectively beautiful as well. I'm assuming you already have guys. I'm assuming already. Like even the way, for example, that American that I was talking to time ago, it was like every time she's displaying her interest, I'm like, brother, it was not yesterday you told me you went on 3 dates. Like I can't reciprocate the same energy to you now, because now if I now open up my emotions to you, before you know it, you do what you're doing to all these other guys to me. I don't want that. For sure. You know what I'm saying? For sure, So it's one of those things. Like for me, I'll allow you to talk. But if you take a step too far, I don't want to deal with anyone like that. I don't deal with anyone like that.
Yeah, man. It's crazy out here, man. Look, why can't a nigga do his thing? Because look, even watch. Literally, me saying this, they're gonna be like, I literally promise you. That's exactly what this is, a social experiment right here, straight to the cup. Like
another one.
Yeah, this is a social experiment. I promise you. Some shorty is gonna walk up to me and question me about what I said. Are you gonna be like, I knew you were a fuck nigga. I already had the notion that you were a fuck nigga, but I know for sure now that you definitely play girls.
That's the part that pisses me off.
It's crazy, bro.
I don't know how you jumped to that conclusion that I'm playing girls. What if one just didn't work out and then the other didn't work out? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because like most times when not that it happens to me or anything.
Not that you're disclaiming the whole of the day.
Not that it happens to me or anything. But you know, when you hear, oh, like, yeah, he's definitely a fuck nigga. Like, he's definitely a player. I'm like, can you tell me what that means? Like, as in, can you genuinely give me the definition of that?
Word.
Tell me what it means first. Then we can have a conversation. It just means. I'm like, my nigga, like, you haven't really said anything. You feel me? Like, you haven't really said anything, or I'm just like, okay, the guy you're talking about, did he actually display these behaviors, or you're just, you're like, oh,
you're
like,
conflating issues.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like you're conflating issues, my nigga. Like, you don't even know what the actual definition of what you're trying to say is. You feel me? So every time I hear that, I literally, if a girl is saying that around me, I usually beg the question. I'm like, can you describe what your definition of what that means is?
Bro, I've seen girls that are players, bro.
Yeah,
It is scary.
it's cruel shit. These girls out here, bro,
It
moving
is scary.
moving
I have
crazy.
a few friends
Moving
that are
crazy.
players.
Yeah,
Brother,
yeah.
bro,
Some niggas are being done dirt out here, man. I can't lie.
bro.
Some niggas
But
are
there's
being done-
some of you guys as well that have respect for yourselves. You're allowing it to
yeah, so,
happen.
yeah, for sure.
Bro, there's one girl in question. Bro,
For sure, man.
the guy was
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah.
I wanna, like, he's obviously trying to just throwing money at her. Oh, come on this trip, come on this trip. I don't blame her. Free trip.
Yeah, for
I would go.
Yeah,
I would go.
100%.
He's going on the trip. She's literally going on the trip. Not like anything has happened.
Yeah.
Not like I've told you anything's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the guy's assuming shit.
Uh-huh.
He's now saying, "Oh, he's now sending paragraphs." I just think to myself, you're not helping the rest of us as a male society right now. Because she's dealing with so many guys like you, it's not like all of us guys are washed.
Yeah,
Like, we're all soft.
yeah.
It's peak, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, but we had to talk about it, and she explained that. Not even she explained. I said, "Look, you're a player, bro." Oh, what do you mean? It's first thing. Oh, what do you mean? I said, "How many of these guys have you actually? Are you dating?" Oh, none of them. They don't worth my time.
Ooh.
I'm like, so why are you going on the trips?
Yeah.
Like, and then you be complaining. Oh, they're
When
sending me
they're-
long paragraphs.
Yeah.
They're treating me as if we're together.
Yeah. You
Do relationship things.
You talked about this. You brought it up about how
The yes girls.
yeah, and I
part
think
of
you're
it.
also talking about. I remember you brought up Shad, like the whole pretty privilege thing and how when girls are confused when guys are acting a
jump to
certain way
conclusions.
because of like obviously like their pretty privilege and how they're acting like blasé about certain things.
Yeah.
Like bro, like nigga.
But even with guys as well, I think there are too many guys that think they're not emotional, but they're acting like children. Not even to jump into the stereotype of women, they're acting like children. This girl has not told you anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you've done has been you've been saying, "Oh, I'll pay for this. I'll get you this. I'll take you here." How the hell is her saying yes to all these things? Now, you guys are in a relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you haven't even done her the decency of asking
I'm
her
asking
out.
her. Yeah. Yeah.
She has every right not to claim you. Bro, it's mad. Guys are not helping us.
Bro,
You guys are
100%,
not
man.
helping us.
As like I said, as a community, we
We
have a
need
lot
to
of work to do.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
do,
lie.
man.
We're going backwards. We're going backwards.
Man.
You feel me? And like you said, it just goes back to the whole like self-worth shit, man. Like my niggas, bro. You niggas need to start, bro. I think Shannon said it. What is in cheeks, man? Like what is in cheeks, bro? Niggas are blinded by the cheeks. Niggas
Bruh.
are blinded by the cheeks.
There was this talk show, Wumi Bello's show, that I was watching. She recently just did like an interview with her pastor, and he was essentially saying like the reason why there are masculine women is because is us as men that are not, that are causing masculine women, right?
Yeah.
So he delved deep into it, right? And she was explaining also from her situation. She gave an example where she was going on holiday with her bae, and he was getting coffee for both of them, and then like getting coffee while they were waiting for the taxi. So the taxi arrived, and then now she's like trying to carry bags and like hailing down the taxi, and he's looking at her like, "What are you doing? Like, relax." Right? And then the pastor was now explaining to her like, like obviously you, from whatever you've been through,
Yeah.
you're displaying a lot of like masculine
traits,
characteristics.
Yeah.
Obviously, your dispute with, or not dispute, what now that you guys are now in that situation where he's telling you what you're doing, and you're having that discussion there. It's an example of where men in general, and not this your situation, but men in general have not shown you enough to be like, to be a lady, to be in your feminine.
Yeah.
Essentially, you should have swapped roles. He should be the one that's carrying the bags, hailing that taxi while you were getting the coffee.
Yeah.
Right. So he also explained his situation where he makes it a thing to make his woman feel like a woman. Right. And it's not about this expectation of like, oh, the guy should carry my bag. The guy should, should. It's more of, as a guy, there are certain things that you need to do, as in like labor, and it doesn't have to be hard labor. It could be little labor, like taking out the trash, that makes a woman feel feminine, right? For example, so his example is like, again, taking out the trash or like carrying heavy things for his woman. It's not like she can't do it. It's just that he makes it a thing to do it, so she feels like she has a masculine man around, for her to then feel like a feminine woman. So now in his mind, it's more of a thing of like, she shouldn't be carrying these heavy things before she breaks a nail. Like you're soft.
Yeah.
If you treat a girl like she's soft, she will feel soft. Yeah. And I think we're kind of losing that as guys, just based on like obviously social media and all this progressive society, blah blah. We're losing that just because we're having a lot of guys that are doing this whole like, oh, I think I was talking to Cow about it, like men want to be chased and all this rubbish. Like
sassy men.
Like there's a difference between like wanting to be chased and attracting, right? Attracting could very well be you doing the masculine things, chasing the woman, pursuing her. Yeah. You're pursuing her, and also you're making her feel soft. Yeah. Right? If you're making her feel soft, any woman that's in this her masculine energy, she will feel soft, and she will then regress into her feminine.
100%.
And even my situation with my only situation, essentially, that was my the biggest experiment that's happened to me that's made me understand this whole dynamic. Right? There are certain things that she was doing that was making me realize, where this feminine and masculine energy sit. Yeah. There are certain things that she was showing me that was making me realize like, oh, I did something earlier that day that made her want to do something that was a lot more like regarded as feminine towards me. And then like, even for example, let's say like opening the door, something as small as that. Right? She feels like a princess. She doesn't feel like she needs to touch anything. She feels guarded. She feels taken care of. So then by the time we're now like we're now alone, she's now making me feel like I'm, the whole rubbing your head, all of this rubbish, like making me feel it's almost like a thank you for doing all these other things that you've done.
100%, yeah.
Right. There was this other, I was on Instagram earlier and I saw, it was like one of those Black Love pages. The reel was started off with like the guy is in his bath and his babe is essentially just like taking care of him while he's in the bath, right? And the caption is like, I wouldn't have been doing this if not for, and then it transitions to the rest of the day. He was essentially like building the whole house. He was like doing the tiling. He was putting up mirrors. Like he was doing all the labor work, and then it now transition back to this. And it's like, look, I feel like I can do this for him because of what he's done.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas like a lot of us are just looking at like, oh, like this is how girls should be treating me now. What have you done to deserve to be treated like this? Do you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us are missing that. Yeah. A lot of us are missing that just because even with technology, because things are so easily done, we're not displaying any masculine traits anymore. If let's say you're blessed and rich enough to have like one of those like vacuum cleaners that just does its own thing, and your babe says, or not even says, she notices that, okay, cool, the house needs to be swept, and then you go on your phone, put on the machine, it does all of that. You've not incited anything for her to feel like, this is something that he should have done that I feel good now about. You know, technology is not helping us in any way, and a lot of us are feeding into that. You know, sometimes again, it's good to just throw it back to traditional things. I definitely agree. Take out the trash.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. Yeah,
or even just carry her.
Yeah,
just carry her from the car, from the door to the living room. You know,
it's crazy how like
if you're strong, don't try if you're a skinny man.
But it's crazy how like love languages can tie into this too. Like when it comes to like when you're looking at like women who do a lot of masculine things, especially when you're talking about like acts of service, for example.
Yeah,
you can realize there's a lot of hyper masculinity going on with within like a lot of the like girls as well. You know, when they're not used to, either because of how they like maybe their upbringing where their father wasn't present, for example, or they've dealt with other guys who they essentially had to be their mom.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been in these situations, I've had these conversations as well. And it's very interesting because tying into the love language of acts of service, when you now do something for them, they are literally they're elated. As in something, like you said, something as small as opening the door or grabbing the bags without having to be asked, or getting the car, or shoveling the snow, some small ass shit. Acts of service, obviously, but you can see how the shorty just melts, you know, she just crumbles, you know what I'm saying, just because you did something so small, you know. And it took my past situation to understand, kind of like what you were saying too, like kind of understand the whole masculine femininity, how it kind of it does gel together, you know, it does definitely mesh together. But you know, naturally too, kind of like what you said, it wasn't that he had to tell her to like scrub his back or take care of him, but naturally the feminine, his masculinity, his masculine energy and her feminine energy, they just meshed well together. Yeah. Right? Because he was doing certain things which now led to her to do certain things for him as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how obviously the relationship is going to work, work well together. So it's definitely interesting. It's crazy when you'll hear these stories like, oh, like the nigga that we're fucking with, past nigga didn't do shit for them. As in, like, when I say shit, I mean absolutely nothing. I thought I was bad. Or I thought I was like, you know, I was like, obviously I'm self-assessing myself. I'm like, okay, what things could I have done better? How can I be a better, like today or whatever? And I'm just like, when I don't know if you've been in situations where you're talking to a girl and they're telling you about the last nigga.
And you're thinking, this gotta be human.
Yo, straight up, like straight to the cup. You know?
Why were you there?
Yeah, like I was like, yo, like what were you doing? Like, you feel me? But yeah, it's just, it's crazy. I'm like, yeah, like they did nothing. As in, when I say like they did nothing. They were just together, but that was it. Like everything else she did. And then now you're dealing with her and you're doing, or you pay for something, she's like, whoa. Or you get something for her, she's like, whoa. You grab her something, she's like, whoa. You pick her up, she's like, whoa. You feel me? Yeah. I'm just like, damn. Like it's not even that deep for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm just being me, you know?
Even for me, like a lot of the things that it's subtle things that I learned over time. It's not even like something that I'll say, oh, it's natural to me. Yeah. Subtle things that I learned over time. There's one, like, for example, let's say open the door. Mm-hmm. That one I learned to be intentional about. Another thing is, if I'm dropping someone off, I wait till they're inside before I leave. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I picked up on. I can't remember where, but it was a few years ago I picked up on it and I was like, I'll start doing it. There was one girl that noticed it. She mentioned it, and it like almost solidified or like confirmed that this is an act of chivalry, you know. But bro, it's little subtle things like that, man. For sure. Little subtle things. I know
there was something that I learned from some of my past experiences is decisiveness.
Yeah.
When, you know, and you hear girls say all the time, like, oh, like, I love, like, a nigga where he's like, oh, he knows what he wants to do, he knows what he wants to do, he knows where he wants to go. I noticed when I started, like, another thing that I intentionally started doing as opposed to something that just naturally happened, I started intentionally being a lot more decisive about things, especially when I'm around women. They eat that shit up. They eat that shit up, my nigga, straight to the cup. Like, bro, when you're like, look, we're going here, we're doing this, like, there's this level of masculinity, straight up. There's a level of masculinity. There's a level of, you know, you're boom. You know, this is happening. We're doing this. They eat that shit up, bro. We're going here. I'm picking you up for this time. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing, bro. They love that shit.
There's another trick that I do as well. Oh, it's not really a trick.
Yeah, tell the boys.
So just like little advice or thing that I do anyways if let's say I'm asking someone out,
Yeah.
I don't, because I still like the element of like you're doing what you want to do, right? So I give you three choices. I always give you three choices. I don't pick where I want to go. Like there's sometimes where, like, for example, even I've seen a few FitX videos where he say just choose what you want to do so you can see how she functions in it. For me, I'm just like like I'll take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not gonna do exactly what he says, but I'll give you three things that I like, right? And then I'll pick like the third one would be something that either it's completely new to me and I want to do, or I'm 50-50 on, and it might be something that you might like. And then I give you those three choices. That's me deciding where we're going, and then once you pick that one, we go from there. And I realized again, it's like, this is why it's useful having girlfriends. Even with Shada, for example, you can see the small dynamics that we have. For example, we're both hungry. She's saying, I want to eat. I was like, cool, me too. What do you want to eat, right? She's not there. Oh, I don't know. 15 minutes has passed.
Oh my God. I don't know.
15 minutes has passed. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll pick what we're gonna eat. Let's go and eat spaghetti. Where do you want to go? 15 minutes passed again. Guy, pick, bro. Right. It's funny. And the thing is, like, obviously she has what she wants, but it's like they always. And again, your friends would be honest with you. Say, look, I want you to choose. Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. And then I carry that into my other relationships, my romantic relationships. And like, this example of where a girl would rather, like, she might have what she wants to do, but sometimes they want to test you as well. They want to bust your balls. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Like, and as guys, we have to be privy to all these things. Like, there's so much missing. There's so much missing from masculinity nowadays, man. Even, bro, almost most of my friends, most of their furniture, I'm the one that's building it. Not just because I'm the only guy friend there. It's just like, for me, I just feel it's a duty for me to do anyways. You know, I do it because I've seen my dad do it. I've seen all my uncles do it. You know, even when I'm at home, because I'm mowing the lawn, my mum rarely ever does it. It's either she's shouting at me to do it, or I do it just because I've seen my uncle do it before. You know?
Yeah. I think there's now, disclaimer, submissive is a neutral word, right? But I think it ties into that when we're talking about decisiveness, we're talking about masculinity. It ties into when we're talking about the guy being the head. And you see it naturally as well. It's not even about like gender roles or like the guy support. You know what I'm saying? You see it naturally in literally a situation like this where the woman doesn't want to make the decision. She wants you to make the decision for the two of you. You know what I'm saying? And there's a level of like submissiveness and kind of like she follows you. She follows your lead kind of thing, right? When you're like, okay, we're going to go here. She's going to trust you and follow you. You're like, okay, this is where we're going to go. You know what I'm saying? This is where we're going to eat. And it's not even just when it has to do with food, just in life, you know? When you're in marriage and stuff like that. It's the same thing. You can see these. There's a lot of natural things that I feel like we're just piling shit over. That just confuses us. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to get at?
I feel even what mentioning that a woman is being submissive to wanting to see if you're able to lead her. Yeah. I think even this narrative of submissive becoming a negative having a negative connotation is like, I've submitted my decision making to you. Now you're asking me to be even more submissive. Yeah. Like, guy, you haven't even like, you know, accepted or even dealt with my first bit of submission. How do I know if you're worth submitting more to? And I think that's another thing that's added to this narrative that we're having, where like submissive has become this negative word, because now it's just like, you like, there are girls that are naturally submissive, and there are girls where it's like subconsciously they are submitting, or they're submitting a little bit to test whether you're worth the full submission. And a lot of us are failing. For sure. A lot of us are failing. For example, even with food example, she said, okay, cool, you decide where we're going. You've missed the social cue of she's telling you, I'm submitting to your plan. Then you say, oh, you can't even decide. You start having an argument.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, she falls into her masculinity, defending herself.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you say, oh, you're not even a submissive woman. Before you know
Boom.
it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas we've now missed that small cue that she's testing us.
Yeah.
You know? And naturally, that's what they do. They are meant to test us. We're meant to be going through a lot of these trials and tribulations because again, this, I think it was Kyle again I was talking to about this whole being the prize thing. I mean, essentially they are, but again we have to show them that we're also a prize. Like we are worth you following our leadership. We're both prizes. It's just that they have to test us to see, okay, cool, is he worth my time? Is he worth my time? Is he worth all of this? And a lot of us were missing those cues, man. Yeah. It's peak. Yeah. It's rough.
All right, guys, before we get back to the show, we just want to ask you guys to subscribe, like, and share. We're on the way to 1K, and we'd appreciate if you guys did that for us. Let's get back to the show. It's crazy once you start being aware of that shit, though. Yeah. Because I feel like that's another thing is a lot of niggas aren't aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not conscious of it. When you're conscious of it, now you can even start, like, instead of just, like, you kind of say, you kind of fall out of, like, the love of, like, just being present with, like, a woman, but, like, because you're now studying her. But, like I noticed, like, I low-key been doing that recently, and, like, there are a lot of benefits to doing that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of trying to gauge between obviously being present, but like also like paying attention to the little things, paying attention to mannerisms, the dynamic you guys have, how she reacts and acts to certain things, like paying attention to all that stuff, because I think it's important. But there was another thing you said that I thought was another interesting that I've been starting to pay a lot of attention to, for me, especially just because like my dad, like he's been like away for like a long time, right? And like I remember our childhood. I remember like him being around for like the childhood part of like my life, obviously like going on trips, like taking us to school. I remember all that shit. But then once we got towards like that teen years, he like went back to Nigeria to work, right? And I noticed for myself, aside from like asking him questions, another way I can learn from him is actually paying attention.
I was thinking about this in the car before.
Paying attention to what he's like when he's around us. Yeah. Paying attention to how he acts, paying attention to the shit he says. I said there's so many ways I can learn from my dad by just watching him straight up. So like another thing, and I think there's something I learned from you that I'm grateful for, is just being a lot more, just paying attention. Pay attention, like pay a lot more attention instead of just always just being there. You feel me? Like pay a lot more attention to these things. Like, and last time when I was on my trip, when I went on my trip to Montreal and Toronto, my dad came with us, right? And you can see his masculinity. You can see how he's the head. You can see his decisiveness. And you can see how the whole family follows. Yeah. You can see when my dad gets in the car, he says, we're going here. Everybody gets in the car, we're going here. Yeah. You can see when my dad is making decisions, everybody listens to him first. And then we have the conversation. Yeah. Right? You can see when he goes this way, everyone goes this way. When he goes right, everybody goes right. When he goes left, everyone goes left. Yeah. When my dad is, first of all, my dad's the only guy that ever drives. Yeah. When we're all together, that's another thing. He's always the one driving the vehicle, right? That's another thing. Yeah. It's the little something successful. Yeah. It's literally all the little things like that, man. And it's crazy. I was just like, look, I need to start actually paying attention to my dad and like how he is around us, because there's a lot of ways I can learn to be a man just from that. You feel me? And how he's been able to bring us as a family, as a unit, all the way to this point.
Yeah. You know and sometimes dads don't really talk. Yeah. They just do.
Exactly.
Like even for my dad does. I don't think I can remember any conversations of like, this is how to be a man, or like this is what you need to be doing. I don't think I've ever had any conversations, but I think one thing that I was lucky I had was, being observant. There's so many things I've learned from him just by watching. He's a man of action. He does not talk very. This guy does not talk. Even like, for example, if let's say my mom's mad and she's either complaining, shouting or whatever, he's silent. And most of the time silent because they're probably going to talk in the inner chambers. It's not something to have a discussion about. Even if, let's say, like there's so many things from the guy's side that I've seen from him that I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take this from him. This is a clear example of masculinity. That him being silent in a lot of situations. Just my observational skills was also from there's when he gets in rooms, he sits down and studies the room. He's always, he's never really the first one to speak. I can see that and how it's affected or how it's built him in a lot of his circles, because now, because he studied so many people for so long, he's now in a position where he can walk into rooms and people automatically feel his aura just because
come down to his energy,
bro. He's got something on you already, and this is from before, and even the way he met my mom, you are my wife. That was it. Although it didn't go down at first, he still had to grow up, but he said,
the man of action. He knew what he wanted. He went for what he wanted.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Nah.
Yeah, bro.
Paying attention is key, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. It's just
very, very key.
I'm like, bro, like, it's like, especially because now I'm getting older as well. Like, I'm actually like going into like my mid 20s, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm starting to there's a lot of things that are more important now, as you're getting a little bit older. There's things that you're like, oh, like I'm actually a man now. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm a man. Like, there's, bro, responsibility. Like, my nigga, like, shouldering that, you feel me? As a man that has a family, bro, that you are carrying the weight of not only you, but everyone else that is an extension of you. As in, my dad took care of all of his siblings at a young age. And I'm like, damn. Like, I don't know if I could do that shit. Like, I think part of being a man too is like, bro, figure this shit out. You feel me? Like, nigga, figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Because he had nobody to look up to at that moment. His dad passed away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my dad, as the oldest male, actually in general, he took care of all his other siblings all the way up until like university. He took care of them financially. He took care of them in every other aspect. You know how, bro, while also having to deal with his own shit. Yeah. You feel me? While also having to find a wife, provide for his, what's it called? Deal with his own shit. Now find a wife, get his career going. He had to shoulder all of that on top of taking care of all his siblings as the oldest. That is some crazy ass shit.
And for me, sometimes that thing it gets to me. I mean, let me be very, very honest. Bro. It gets to me because sometimes I feel am I even doing enough? And I know I've noticed. My mom's starting to notice it. I'm like, bro, I can't help it because you again, bar, bro. You set the bar. From young, you've told me you need to be this certain way. Yeah. Now I'm getting to the age where I'm starting to realize I need to be this certain way. I'm starting to realize how much I've missed. Obviously, I've been privileged enough to have an easier life than you, but then that has also come to not a detriment, but it's come to a point where like I now feel like I'm way behind. Compared to, and this is the thing, you can't. This is the one piece of advice my dad say. You can't compare yourself to me. You're living your own life. That's I swear that's probably the one the one man-on-man conversation I've had with my dad, and that's the only thing he said. You can't compare yourself to me because you're living your own life. Me, I have my own dreams, and that's when that's where a lot of things switched in my mind, right? Because there was a point where like I'm thinking like, oh, why is he taking care of so many people? And these are just intrusive thoughts. Why is he not taking just his family and stuff like that? And I'm thinking to myself, he probably had a dream that he was able to be blessed to bless so many other people, right? That was probably his prayer to God. Now that he's in a position where he's able to not only just take care of his family, but he's also able to take care of so many others. Once he said that, I like over some days, weeks, I started to realize like he has his own dream. I can't beg for anything from him. All I can do is just accept what he's given to me, because he has his own life. At the end of the day, if he dies, I don't die with him. If I die, he doesn't die with me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, our attachment is there by blood. But now, bro, the same with SEALs, bro. when the dad is ready to tell the little kid to grow up, bro, the dad and mom leave. The kid has to figure out how to swim. The kid has to figure out how to do everything. And like with privilege of having an easier lifestyle, and you kind of lose that touch. You know? And I think that's been getting to me a lot recently, because I'm feeling like shit, I'm behind. You know, obviously it's, for me, I see it as good pressure, just because it's now like, okay, cool, let me not be too complacent with the things I have, and like try and start figuring shit out. You know, before my dad or my parents have the mindset of, okay, cool, you can do it on your own. Let me be able to do it on my own first. So because I want to be the one to say, okay, cool, you don't have to do it for me anymore. You know, and that, bro, there was a point where it was really, really bad. That's where all that negative talk was starting to come, when I started to realize how much different I am in terms of like, at this age, the shit my parents were doing,
bro. Literally.
At this age, the shit my parents were doing, I'm nowhere close to that, bro. Nowhere close to that.
The bar is sky high.
Yeah.
So I told you, bro. That clip that went semi-viral, bro. We can't be like, almost, bro. We can't be, bro. We can't. Like, it's like, as in, we cannot.
There's no choice, man.
Literally, like I told my brother. I still tell him. I keep reminding him, like, nigga, look at the bar. Look at this bar. Look what they've done. Look what they've actually accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I think one thing that privilege gives you is time.
Yeah.
Privilege gives you time to. It's like, okay, they didn't have the time to be like, okay, like, what do I actually want to do in my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, they were thrown into the fire. Like, okay, like, come back out. You know what I'm saying? Privilege has given us time to now be like, okay, what do you, like, you can actually sit down, you can actually breathe for a second, but okay, what do I actually want to do? Where do I see myself being in the next 10 years? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, I kind of like what you said, just like you said, it's good pressure. I feel the same way about that. It's like, I'm 100% grateful, because there's so many people that aren't in my position. But at the same time, I feel like me too, there's certain things, character traits, things I could have built had, you know, not had it been the other way, but like, I don't know, had there been like a medium almost, I don't know, but I definitely, I know what you mean. Like, there's certain things that, like, I feel like obviously I may have missed just because I am, you know, obviously privileged, but I'm so grateful for it, of course.
There's this quote I got from, I can't remember if it was a podcast or a book I was reading, but essentially is the circle, right? Tough times create tough men. Tough men create good times. Good times create soft men. And soft men create hard times. Brother, I said shit. I don't want to be the soft man, right? I do not in any way want to be the soft man. And that's what this society is becoming now. Because the hard, or not society, let's talk about for us, let's say with our parents. Our parents have grafted so hard in a hard time, either be it, you know, moving to a completely different country, having to start from scratch, or even the turmoil that's going on back home. They've had to graft in that hard time. They've had to be tough to create a good time, a good life for us. But the good life, in my eyes, is starting to make me soft. For sure. You know, and if I stay soft,
you're finished,
brother, it's gonna be hard times later on. You know, so right, reading books, even like to do with this topic as well. I was watching this documentary that Obama's doing right now. It's to do with like the different classes and work, right? Even in line with like our parents, they don't have a choice to chase their passion. The people that are, especially in America, the people that are at the bottom, they have to work in order to pay their bills. They're not working to provide. They're working to pay their bills. They're working to survive. Then you move up to the middle class, and the middle class is so vast. You have the lower middle class that's earning let's say like $50,000 a year, and then you have like the upper middle class, which is like 200, 300 bags. You know, and there's a drastic difference between the two. There's this guy that works at a tech company. Obama's like having a conversation with him, and he's just like where do you see yourself going from here? And he's sitting there like okay, cool, I've got a couple of options from like offers from different companies. I'm just trying to think of the best place for me to go. Like, where do I feel comfortable? Who, like, I want to be in a position where I want to work with people that I like. And then it goes into this narrative of like, once you've either been given a certain life, you have this choice of either chasing your passion, or you have this choice of like, choice. I get to choose how to work. Do you know how powerful that is?
Yeah.
You like, there are people that are right at the bottom that are like, I can't, if I don't go to work, it's over for me.
Literally.
I hate my job.
Yeah.
I hate my job, and a lot of our parents had to go through that. I hate my job for us to be here, choosing. Oh, I want to be in a place where like I want to love my job. I want to wake up every morning. I want to love going to work. You know, and sometimes that makes you get very, very complacent, very, very soft, because you're not moving anywhere just because you're waiting for that time where, okay, cool, I have a job that I like. Yeah. Or the one day someone pisses me off, oh, I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. I'll just wait for a different job. Yep. Bro, it's
crazy, man. It's I think the one thing that obviously we can say we're blessed with is the awareness.
Yeah.
I think the awareness obviously helps, especially in situations where you are privileged and you know that you are, you know, comfortable, but you're aware at least that, okay, you know, you're grounded and aware. You're also grounded. Being grounded is very important. Even being privileged, but being grounded is very important. But like, you know, when we have these conversations, I'm thinking to myself how much privilege I actually have, and not even just in the financial sense, just in the sense of like, when you actually think about how much shit your parents have actually done for you, to where you can actually just essentially do whatever the fuck you want.
Bro, we're doing a podcast.
Literally, bro, I can like the fact that like I can literally like I can travel. Like they had to go through this whole process to get us from Nigeria to Canada, to get us our visas, to get us to now for us to become citizens. There's all this shit that I had no idea was going on. You feel me? They did all of that. They struggled. You know, they went through all those, you know, the different processes. For me to now be like, oh, like I'm going to Italy, like whatever. Like there's not even a second thought of everything that came before that for me to be able to just travel to Australia because I feel like it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So when you actually think about these things, bro, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy because it's just like, man, bro, our parents did a lot for us. And when you're able to actually understand it, you're able to understand them as well, you know? Because I feel like we talked about this before, a lot of, you know, and obviously, like I said, I can't speak for other African kids that are in different situations, but, you know, there is a group of Africans, kids, you know, or Nigerian kids who it's like, my life, like, fuck my parents. They don't get it. They don't understand what I'm going through. They don't, you know what I'm saying? But when you're able to bring yourself to that level, right? When you actually ground yourself and you're like, okay, like actually think about everything that got you to this point, where you are now. And you actually think about everything that your parents did and sacrificed for you to get to where you are. For you to even complain about the shit you complain about some bullshit. You feel me? It's like, okay, like, you know, now you understand your parents as well. Now you understand why they think the way they do, why they act the way they do. And it helps you, I feel like, as an adult. You know what I'm saying? As you're growing up. Okay. So it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But what do you think about this? Talking about soft man. Speaking of soft man, Mr. Adam 22 has been getting destroyed.
Oh my God, he deserves it.
Cooking that man. You feel me? Been calling him a cuck. Right? So
he does that. What's a cuck?
I don't even know how to describe what it is, but it's like,
because I've been seeing Elon and what's his name going back and forth. Elon and
Mark Zuckerberg.
Going back and forth doing the whole cuck thing. I thought it was just a misspelling, bro.
Cuck. No, it's an actual word, or it's a slang for something. A weak or servile man, a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, a cuckold. Oh. So essentially, back to like this whole soft man thing. I thought it was perfect that you said that word specifically because everybody's been on his ass. But what do you think about that whole situation?
Personally, I just think it's there's okay to think about it. From my initial thought is that these people are living a life I would never understand.
Well, yeah.
Right? These people are also an anomaly, which I shouldn't really care about.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a conversation I need to even be bothered about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it now goes back to like how the separation between us and these kind of people is not that big anymore, because now that someone that is an average human being is able to see that as a possibility, now we're having these conversations where there are some girls that are possibly thinking about this. There are some guys that are complaining about it. For me, I'm just like, look, this is this is a weak man. This is a weak man that has been enjoying the fruits of his stupidness for so long, and now that the shoe's on the other foot, he can't do anything about it. He can't.
Yeah. Yep.
He can't say no because all this time he's been doing podcasts with other porn stars and then they'll shag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he can't say no because he's the one that said you can do it. Brother, are you okay?
Yeah. Couldn't be me, gang. Look, let me tell you right now.
Are you okay?
Couldn't be my ass.
Nah, man.
Couldn't be my ass.
I think for me that was my reaction to all of this. It was just, this guy is just an idiot. Like I don't think that my opinions of it is just that. It's just like, this guy's just an idiot. The only thing is that he, for so long, he's been able to disassociate himself from the effects of his work. He deems it as work because it gets him money. It doesn't mean it's actual work. Right? There are people that actually like working in this life. But now that it's at a straight disadvantage to him, brother, he can't handle it. You can't handle it. What's he meant to do? At first, bro, it's mad, bro.
It's just the whole shit is just mad weird. Like some weirdo
so
shit.
Mad.
Like the whole shit is just like, in like kind of like what you said. I don't think he doesn't understand the dynamic he's created with his woman/wife. Like, you created a dynamic that is now essentially out of your control.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? And that's kind of like what you were saying too. So it's just like, there's no going back. You can't, like you said, he can't say no.
You can't say anything.
Like, exactly, you literally can't say anything. And it's just like, now look at, like, you've literally put yourself in a position to where, look at, the whole world is, oh my god.
Very,
like,
because at first he was just like, oh,
you're
this
finished.
is nice to see that my wife is happy. Something to do, like I'm allowing my wife to be happy. And then I think there was like, he was like trying to recant his statement or something like that, trying to say like, essentially, like, because he was feeling the hate on the internet, he was now like, oh, I think I regret it. But then he now realized, I can't say shit. I can't say shit, bro. It's a mess, bro.
Some of the shit that they were saying, like, obviously he interviewed his wife after. He's like,
oh my god,
how did it, bro? That interview just made me. I was just cringing. No, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw clips, and he was like, how did it feel coming back to me after being,
oh my
like,
gosh,
a bigger guy? Like, shit. I'm like, what is this conversation, my nigga? Like, I'm just thinking about their kid. They have a whole kid.
I saw another clip that's gone like on one of those like blog sites. He was saying some dumb thing
About who cares about the kid or something.
No, he was saying that for my daughter, if she wanted to do OnlyFans, who am I to stop her? I'm like, a sane father, that's who you should be. So his explanation was that so I should stop her. So if she had the option of going to work at McDonald's and earn just above minimum wage, compared to if she's going on OnlyFans and she's making 200,000 a month, who am I to stop her?
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, are you listening to yourself? But then again, I have to remind myself, these are idiots. Like, this is the thing. Like with the internet has allowed us to make money in so many different ways. Does not mean all the ways are right.
Yeah.
It's the same with like us talking about when we're talking about this whole like going viral and trying to grow this pod.
Yeah.
Like there's so many ways we can build it. But which way is going to be good with your soul? Clearly, this is not good for his soul. You can see him trembling in the conversation with his wife. He's asking questions like he's like a child at his first interview, bro.
I can see the pain in his. I don't care what anyone says, nigga. I can see the pain in. I'm another male. This is a male thing. Like as another male, there's certain things we understand. You feel me? I can through the cam, like through the lens, I can see the pain in this nigga's eyes. I don't care what anyone says. I know they're saying it's marketing and he's whatever. Yeah, he has to play his role 100% so they can make the most money, whatever. But I can see the pain in his eyes, almost like this nigga just sold. He just did something he can never. He just sold his soul. Yeah. He just did something that he can never get back.
And he can't publicly. Bro, imagine silencing yourself.
Nah, this shit is crazy, bro. This whole situation.
It's different when someone holds your mouth, but imagine holding your mouth. You're now thinking how stupid you look and feel because you're the one holding your mouth, but you know I can't release this mouth. Do you know how painful? Do you know how isolating that is? You're the only one in the position you're in right now.
Yeah,
you're literally living hell on earth,
bro.
Bro, God damn it.
Me.
Damn it, bro.
Me. So it's time for ShoreAsks. When did you realize you were attractive? When did you realize you were attractive? As a guy that's at the top of this
guy, I have multiple stages actually.
Oh yeah.
There was the stage where in school, this is just before 18, so between 15 and 18, becoming the popular cake on the market, the hot bread on the shelf. I think one of my older guys came to me, was like when I was like 15, came to me, bro, he was just like, bro, when you get to sixth form, so that's like 17 to 18, bro, things are about to change. I didn't understand what he meant, but essentially I was in a white dominated school, so like he was essentially saying that you become a fetish kind of thing. Yeah. So that was one level, and then when did that? I'll probably say like I don't know, a few years ago. A few years
Top Gun, right?
I'm easy on the eye. Yeah. For certain people, it's not for everyone, but for
Big
certain
D.
people, yeah. I'll probably say recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I think it happens in stages.
What's your own answer? They can't give me.
It happens in stages. All right, straight to the cup. Like, on the real, probably when did I realize?
Yeah.
It was probably 2020. I would say.
Yeah.
That was when it started for me. Like I pierced my ears.
Shit.
I've told this story so many times.
Goddamn sugar. The
I pierced my ears. I started growing out my hair, and then I noticed I started getting a lot more attention from women. And then after that, I realized I was starting to get a lot of attention from women. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Damn, I low key like what I see myself. Like, fuck everyone else. You feel me? Like, I like what I'm seeing." And then from there, it just kind of progressed to when I started getting called out of my name for being attractive. That's when I realized I was like, okay, whoa, like if girls are calling me names, like calling me a player and shit just for the way I look, I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And
then when girls are breaking necks,
stop. And then the third stage would probably be like getting a lot of looks when I go out, and then girls approaching me.
Yeah.
Stop. Girls approaching me, complimenting me, and then obviously it being a lot easier for me to attract women and get women. And I was like, okay, yeah, like there's clearly something here. You feel me? But I'm humble always. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Humble beginnings. You know humble. You know how it is. Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings, man. That shit will never it'll never be a thing. I think it just has to go back to just like how you're raised and being grounded is just like never making it like an ego thing or whatever. Like, thank God, you feel me? Like, a nigga looks good, but it's never gonna be like, oh, like I'm looking down on others and stuff. Humble beginnings. That's the best way to describe it. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's a little similar as well. When people start saying, "Oh, you look like a player,"
yeah. Once you start hearing all that, literally, from a nigga existing, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I said, okay, it makes sense.
And then they'll start claiming. Shorties will start claiming you. Oh, that's a whole nother level I forgot about. Shorties will start claiming you. I didn't even know girls did this. I thought it was only guys that did this, but shorties will start shorties claim you, say they've talked to you when they never have, say they've been with you when they never have.
What life?
For you? This is just like, like this is a general thing. Not that it happened to me or anything. But like, yeah, like that's a complete different level. That is like I did not know that was a thing. So experiencing that too was crazy.
For man like Justice and Steven.
Yeah. Shout out them boys. They know all about that. But I remember let me give you a little story time. I remember it was literally 2020. I shit you not, it was like fall 2020. The beginning of the year. Bro, shit was crazy. Like, I was getting mad attention. Like that was my prime. You feel me? I'm a good guy now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good nigga. You feel me? I'm a lot more mature and amongst other things. But I remember that literally that year, beginning of the year, that semester, because I was obviously in school, I was getting so much attention. And it's never happened, so it's like when something new happens, you don't really know how to handle or deal with it. But like I was getting mad attention. I was just like, this shit is crazy. Like girls were DMing me on different social media, like asking for my information. Girls at school were walking up to me, like, I was obviously I was entertaining the shit. You know, like a nigga was, you feel me? Like a nigga was doing his little thing. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember specifically some shit happened where, I remember like I'm in school and then I was in U of M, like, Defoe shit, and everyone was used to get Defoe and stuff. Stop. And then, I remember like, obviously I'm around my friends and stuff. And then I remember that day, I was getting, even at school, like I was getting attention, right? I remember going home and getting a call from one of my girlfriends. And she was just like straight up, this is literally what she said. She said, I'm hearing, hold on. She was literally like, I'm hearing that, oh, Sheree's so fine, then he can get it. Like that's what she said. She's hearing this in circles, but he's a fuck nigga. Once I heard that, I was like, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. My name is flying now. You feel me? And the thing is, I hadn't even done nothing yet. Like I hadn't even done no damage. You feel me? Like not that I did any damage. But you know what I'm saying? Like I hadn't even done nothing yet, and a nigga's name was already flying like that. Like he's a fuck nigga. I'm like, nigga, I ain't even done nothing yet. You feel me? Just entertaining, you know what I'm saying? Entertaining here and there.
That's it. Now when you start entertaining, that's the problem. Yeah. That's why I just stick with my. Oh, you're five? My small. Yeah, you need group of girlfriends.
Your NBA starting.
No.
Looking at.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys,
subscribe, like, comment, share, going up, man, going up,
going straight up.
Yeah. Unruly the brand, you feel me? Back in the cut, dropping soon, you feel me? Went on a little hiatus, but we're back. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for this drop, low key, because I'm doing something a little bit different with a few of my pieces. And I talked about the soft rebrand a little bit ago, but the soft rebrand is also coming with this drop. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a different vibe in terms of the designs I'm making and stuff moving forward. And obviously it's something that is close to my heart in terms of the message I'm trying to push to the people. So yeah, be on the lookout for that as well.
We'll be bringing out our own merch as well soon.
No cap.
Soon.
BlackerTheBerry merch, you feel me?
Yeah, we just need to...
Mugs and pens and hoodies.
Oh, yeah?
And hats.
Pens? Are we teachers?
Notebooks. Anything, you know what I'm saying? Look, whatever you guys want.
We're bringing out lingerie for some of the bad bees.
Ooh. You gonna personally deliver that?
No, anyways, BlackerTheBerry.
Sweet the juice.
Say
peace.